The wind howled across the high plains like a living thing, sharp enough to cut skin and steal breath. Winter had come early that year, cruel and unforgiving. Caleb Moore reined his horse near the edge of his land. He was a single rancher, known more for his silence than his words, living alone since fever took his parents. It left him with nothing but acres of stubborn earth and long nights that asked no questions. And that was when he saw them. Two shapes near the frozen creek, barely moving, half buried by drifting snow. At first, he thought they were animals, but then one lifted a trembling hand and dropped it again. His heart slammed against his ribs as he spurred his horse forward. Jumping down, he knelt in the snow and found two young Apache women. Sisters, as he would later learn. Their clothes were thin and soaked, their lips blue, their eyes dulled by hunger and cold. One clung to the other as if letting go meant death. He wrapped them in his heavy coat, lifted them with a strength born of pure urgency, and fought the storm back to his small cabin. Through the night, he worked, feeding the stove, warming water, rubbing life back into their stiff fingers. He spoke softly, not knowing if the words even helped. By dawn, their breathing had steadied, a hint of color returning to their faces. When the elder sister opened her eyes, she stared at him like he was a spirit from an old story. Her name was Ayana. The younger was Tala. They were fleeing starvation, men who would trade them like goods, and a winter that showed no mercy. Their family was gone, their tribe scattered. Caleb listened, never interrupting. When they finished, aside simply or safe here. Days turned into weeks. The storm passed, but the sisters stayed. Tala's laughter began to warm the corners of the quiet cabin, while Ayana's quiet watchfulness missed nothing. They helped with chores, learning the rhythms of the ranch. Caleb taught them to ride and shoot, and in return, they taught him low songs at night and stories of survival through standing together. But the town noticed. Whispers followed him for sheltering to Apache women. Stares lingered, and smiles turned ugly. Caleb felt danger tighten like a hand at his throat, especially after some crude remarks outside the general store left him seething with anger. It was an anger Ayana understood. She spoke of their way, where saving a life makes you responsible for it, that you sometimes become family. Tala added softly that they didn't wish to be a burden, but they also did not wish to leave. That night, Caleb stared into the fire, heavy with a choice he had forgotten how to make. "I'll force nothing," he said, "and claim nothing that isn't freely given." Ayana met his gaze and replied, "We choose." What followed wasn't scandal or sudden passion, but a slow, unfolding understanding. It was respect. Protection given and returned. Caleb made it clear to the town, and to the land itself, that the sisters were under his name and his roof. Any man who challenged that quickly learned that silence was not weakness. When spring finally came, melting the snow and letting the land breathe again, they stood together beneath a wide sky. They married in a simple ceremony, with no priest and no crowd, only promises carried by the wind. Some called it wrong, some called it impossible. But on that ranch, life went on, stronger and warmer and shared. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.